Good morning, friends. Good morning, audience of this very famous and popular, world popular internet show titled uh, Ad Hoc Rantings. So today I'm going to do comparative trends. Comparative trends means this, there are events in different countries, different times, or synchronous, parallel, or you know, uh, concurrent, if you will. That are similar, and you can actually from uh, discerning or observing nature of those events and details and understanding the details and progress and results and actions and behaviors, you can actually relate the two. In fact, you can more than relate the two, you can actually conclude that they're pretty much identical and similar in circumstances or origin and operation and ownership and directions and dogma and allegory and all that. So repeat after me. If you're a Muslim, you're a terrorist. If you're Ukrainian or European, you're a Nazi. Muslim, you're a terrorist. European, you're a Nazi. Muslim, you're a terrorist. European, you're a Nazi. Uh, so here it comes. When Russia intervened in Syria, they were supposed to be there to eliminate ISIS, right? Which is a terrorist organization that is one end of line, or so far, the most current one of a string of terrorist organizations. So before that was Qaeda, before that was Muslim Brotherhood, before that it was whatever. And it all goes all the way up to the movement of the assassins or the assassins, whom in fact Russia and Israel above that, and the United States and everybody else came to support and put into power or keep the seat of power thereof in Syria, right? But when Russia came in, and this is documented, uh, they didn't really attack those ISIS, who were in fact few here and there. And sometimes they manifested, sometimes they changed the identity, or reflagged or whatever it is. They were very hard to pin down, and they were very few, and they were very mobile, and it was very obvious. They were well financed, they were well directed, and they had prior intelligence and all kind of things. And they, in fact, and this is documented, they in fact did not attack ISIS wherever they are. They attacked the Sunni population. If I told you that 50, 60 days ago, you would, of course, doubt me, right? But now in Ukraine, we see that those Nazis are unidentified. Those Nazis of Ukraine are unidentified, unknowns, very few if they exist. And when they do exist, they are not being attacked. Who is being attacked? In Ukraine, the Ukrainian population, the Christians, right? Orthodox Christians that are very similar in religion and belief and so on to the Orthodox of Russia itself, right? Or Greece or Syria or, you know. So repeat after me. You're a European Christian or European, doesn't matter. You're a Nazi. You're a Muslim, Sunni Muslim. You're a terrorist. So the destruction of Syria and the killing of millions and making the rest of the population refugees, in fact, uh, 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 was done in the name of a terrorist organization, most supposedly Muslim, right, called ISIS. And now in Europe, in Ukraine, it's been done in the name of Nazism. Nazism did manifest itself, and it tricked people, it deceived people for a little while, but not for long. Especially Germans. They knew eventually what it was, but they were so deep in the war and killing fields and so on, that for them to become virtuous at that point, and they couldn't even surrender. Let's put it this way: there was no surrender, at least on that eastern front. If they surrendered, they would be killed. They knew that they were between a rock and a hard place, or between a slaughterhouse and a butcher house. Basic and simple. They had no choice. Let's put it this way. But the vast majority of Germans knew, actually, just right after the war, what the Nazi movement is all about, and they are very few. There are not many. So there you go. You have it, folks. So it is documented that Russia didn't attack ISIS wherever they are, wherever they were. And now in Europe, they're not attacking Nazis. Well, where are the Nazis really in Europe now? Where are they? Anyways, the slogan for Pustalenin, as dictated to him, as told to him by his brother Netanyahu, or Bennett for that matter, is to use the slogan as such. They're Muslim terrorist, European Nazi, or even Americans, right? Americans are, supposedly they're Nazis, right? White people. And if they're blacks, whatever, right? Panthers, civil rights movement. Oh, poor blacks. Oh, they've been taken on a ride. And they're at the bottom of social ranks, right? Classes. And yet those Israeli-funded BLM and civil rights movements and Rainbow Coalition or whatever it is, they are further pushing them down, right? That's a sinister fact that I will eventually explain in one of those rankings and comparative trends or specific picks. So there you have it, folks. So the slogan to destroy Syria, and the slogan to destroy Iraq, and the slogan to destroy Afghanistan, and the slogan to destroy Yemen, the slogan to destroy Libya, the slogan to destroy Somalia or Central African Republic is anything but founded, folks, right? And now I want you to do comparative trends. If they're accusing Europeans of being Nazis, right? Well, just Ukraine for a starter. What do you think they have in mind for the rest of you in Europe? Just think about it, folks. Erasing cities because those Ukrainians are Nazis, right? Just think about it, folks. Just think about it. What's coming your way in Europe? And I said this before, I warned you before, but you wouldn't want to wake up. What's coming to you in Europe if they succeed, if those lizard eye cabal of Moscow succeed, if they succeed, is horror, folks. Is very horrific. Just look at Syria, and see what happened to Syria. Look at Somalia and see what happened to Somalia. Look at Libya and what's happening in Libya. Far worse will be done to you in Europe, especially those Scandinavians and Germanics. Oh, what's coming your way, folks, is pretty problematic. They faltered, largely faltered. They've been trying to attack the East now for a while. Like, how many days now? And there's no tangible success. Why? Because it's the same soldier, folks. It's the same minion that is attacking in the East now that has been attacking in the North and here and there and there. It's the same mentality, the same psyche. It's those orcs, as much as I hate to call them orcs because they're human beings being brainwashed and utilized to kill and get killed. And they're my human beings, they're like, that's how I feel about them. Yet I have no choice but to stand against them, right? Because those who are driving them, sitting up on their shoulders and their backs and having yokes around their necks and shackles in their feet and making them look like zombies, right? Behave and look like zombies, will not leave them alone. And they are causing a lot of killing and destruction. That's the Pustalenin, that's the Netanyahus, that's them, folks. Nobody else, really. So Europeans, I don't know what it is that I know your establishments, especially those EU and NATO and central bank and whatnot, are keeping you down. So something like Brexit is very important. Of course, Brexit really never succeeded. They tell you it did. No, folks. They stifled it eventually, and I knew something like this would happen. They would not just give up the EU. That EU and NATO, that's something that Israel has been working on for decades, or Zion for that matter. Israel existed before 1948 as Zion, and it existed for a long time before. But they've been working on that for decades, and for them, it is very important that the central bank, as they siphon off trillions on future of those nations and so on, and they support Russia and make sure that you Europeans, Scandinavians, you Germans cannot defend yourself or terminate this evil that's coming from the East right now, because right now, if you intervene in Ukraine, chances are you will not just defeat that evil that's coming from Moscow. Rather, you will take it out altogether. And you have that chance. Right now, that chance, if Europeans team up together and come to Ukraine and fight that evil, they will not just defeat it. They will make sure, actually, they can even go to Moscow and remove that polity, that evil regime, that cabal, lizard-eye cabal of Moscow. But NATO and EU, above them Israel and the US and so on, they're making sure you don't do that. And they will make sure you don't defend yourself or get help from anywhere if and when those Pustalenins make it to your borders. They're supporting them. Believe me, if United States, EU and Central Bank, NATO, Gulf Arab countries, and so on and so on, did not support Russia now, fully support Russia and foot the bills for everything else and pay them, they're paying them like, of course, it's cheap, illegal, digital money, right? Will never be acknowledged as real, or those who steal money will be accounted for it. You trust me on that. Individually, on individual basis. Russia would have collapsed, actually. They would have reconsidered their position toward Europe and so on. But the drive and the politics and the strategy and the tactics, all that is come from Israel. It's prefabricated and sent from Israel. That's it, folks. Nothing else, really. There's one time when you really cannot wait anymore. There's one time when you really have to act, and this is it. So, going back to comparative trends, you're a Muslim, you're a terrorist. You're European, you're a Nazi. Or fascist if you're Italian, right? I don't want to mix up between the two, right? Fascist, Nazi, terrorist. Fascist, Nazi, terrorist. Terrorist, fascist, Nazi. Nazi, terrorist. Terrorist, Nazi. And the mass killing is going on and is going on and is going on and is going on. This evil, folks, if you try to see it the way I see it for what it is and the facts about it and the structure of it and the heart of it, and it's the heart of evil, folks. The breadth and width and depth of it and deception of it. Oh, it's horrific, folks. It even has tentacles and extensions in the Ukrainian leadership, right? Who are trying to deceive you and make you look the other way, that this is not an Israeli thing, but it is. That's what it is, folks. Some in the leadership of Ukraine are actually praying and hoping and working directly to make sure that Pustalenin takes over Ukraine. Believe me, they're passing all kind of information to Pustalenin and so on and so forth, through America and through Israel, of course, and even some through those Erdogans and Arab League that come, like and so on. Oh man, oh man. I have a lot of respect for the Ukraine military and the Ukraine people. Not some of their leaders who really appear to be on the side of Ukraine, that is their country they're leading. Nah. No, people, they're not. So, the slogan of Nazism is now being utilized and will be utilized to make Europe look like Ukraine, or Syria, or Afghanistan, or Iraq, or Libya, or Somalia, or Central African Republic, or South Sudan, or Somalia, or where? Just think about or Chechnya, or. That's that, folks. That's all I can tell you. Have a nice day, my friends. We'll talk to you later. Bye now.